So, this is going to be my comparison video on the two of these damn things. Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. I'm going to go on to D1 first and point out the things I like and the things I didn't like. And then go to D2 in another stream and do the same thing. And then put all my thoughts into one basket on my opinions on why one's better than the other. Because we don't have the capabilities of doing that right now, dear. Yep, I'll explain that later. Alright. So to start out, we're going to give you an example of why I liked D1 over D2. This little gun here, amazing. But you had more customization for this shit. And the random drops, in my opinion, and the random rolls made the game worthwhile grinding. Because you could get a god roll, or you could get a crap roll that would give you the incentive to keep going through the same missions or the same raids to get those drops. I also liked the variety of weapons you had. Like, Doctrine of Passing, the Extremophile, which is a dead orbit weapon that, in case you can't tell, is plastered with dead orbit logo. Which I always enjoyed because, as you can see, I've got a dead orbit auto rifle, a dead orbit rocket launcher. I had a dead orbit shell, but I got rid of it. Arc, boots, chest piece. Can't remember if I have dead orbit arms or not. Yeah, Endling. So yeah, that's dead orbit. And then my dead orbit helmet, which, I like dead orbit, so I would usually try to run one class setup that was full dead orbit gear. And then I would also run a full armor set that was taking gear. And that's another thing I liked about this game. And as you can tell, I still don't have some things, but this is why I like Destiny 1 also more than D2. I mean, don't get me wrong, D2 is a good game, but look at this. You have your waning starship. It's a taken ship. You have the Hilidon Seeker, or Hylidian, or however you say it. I probably butchered the hell out of that. Anyway, just look at it. And then, you had your horns for your sparrows, and you had your different sparrows, like, the Prismatica. What's another good one? The Soul Scout. And then you had, your emotes like we got in D2, but Thriller, Taken Shiver. Let's find a couple other good ones. Hammer Time. On Xbox, not on here, I have the Carlton. I used to love doing that to my buddy. But anyway, oh yeah, shaders was another thing I liked. I like the fact that in D2 you can equip a shader to each piece of armor and weapon. So you can even do it to your ghosts, to your ships, to your spares. I like that. What I don't like is their one-time use gone. What I think they should have done is done what D1 has, which let me go up here so I can equip these. Alright. Now with the shaders in D1, oops, you would click on it, it would change your entire armor set. And the thing is, as you can see, I can click on these things as much as I want, and I don't have to go get another one. And of course, Glowhoo and Shimmer are my favorite ones. And so is Chatterwhite. Because I liked running a whitey tidy. Anyway, what I think they should have done in D2 is make the shaders unlimited, just like they are in D1, But instead of just equipping one to change your entire armor, you could go like to your Sparrow and click on it and insert the shader that you wanted. Now what they could do to make it somewhat kind of like what they have now, in my opinion, is make them unlimited use, but like say I have Shimmer, right? And I equip Shimmer to my Sparrow. Okay. I would have to go and get another Shimmer out of my vault to equip it to, like my ship or my helmet or my rocket launcher. But just unlimited use. But you have to go back and get another one if you already have it slotted into something, so you can slot it into something else. But you can interchange them freely between your weapons and stuff. Okay. Now another thing that I like that D1 has over D2, D2's got some guns, and they're finally starting to put a little bit of variety into the looks. But I kind of wish that it was more like D1. Like, no two guns are exactly the same, which, same could kind of be said for D2. But, for example, look at my Extremophile. It's an auto rifle. And then you go over here and you look at my Red Death, which is a pulse rifle, which, by the way, is the original Life Giver. The Crimson is just a pistol version of it. Then you have your swords, which, Dark Drinker. Look at that. And then you get into, the Taken sword, Dreadfang. See the difference between the two swords? And then with your rocket launcher, you have, of course, the iconic Gjallarhorn, but I have the Iron Gjallarhorn because I was a pre-order whore. And then you have, the Dead Orbit rocket launcher, Unto Dust. There's big differences in the way they look. It's not just, hey, we have a baseline look for this weapon, but we're going to slap some different attachments on it or a different length or look to it. It's a drastic change because, Gjallarhorn just looks beasty. And then, like I said, you have the Unto Dust, which is just clunky and big around the center. Gjallarhorn's kind of big and clunky around the center too, but the way they offset it is, it's got the wolves, the wings, the barrel length, and with this one you have the top part, you got the little like back fin thing here, barrel's long, got a big fucking bore up here. There's subtle differences, which D2 does do, but they're over-the-top differences as well. And with your ghosts, you know, you're not just getting different triangles and crap like that. I like the fact that they added different shapes in D2, but it's not just about shapes, it's about the actual cosmetic of the thing too. Like with the Taken Ghost, the Consume Shell, it's taken, and it's got these spikes, and it constantly moves and glows. And then you go over to the Halloween, you know, Deviled Ghost. It's simplistic. It's the normal ghost, just with a devil horn and tail cut out and taped to it. But it works. And then with your Iron Banner Ghost, you know, Iron Song Shell, it's engraved with, or no, the same thing, Iron Banner one, is it? Yeah, Song of the Iron Banner. Sorry, it's been a while since I played. But it's literally etched into the ghost shell itself. Color palette, you know. With your Titan marks, like this one, there's your Taken one, Dead Orbit. Like with the Striker Titan, class-specific Titan mark, I mean, there's a little bitty damn molten hammer sitting on hip. It's just subtle little things like these that make a huge difference in my opinion. Like with the chromas, you can see my I'm wearing the shimmer shader, but there's red glowing in certain parts. That's because I have the chromas on the items, which is something that was annoying, but I did like, because I liked the idea of having, you know, my character one color but having a glow or a tint of a different color. I was just annoyed with how hard it was to get the colors you wanted, and the fact that, you know, it cost to change them, but it was a equal balance, I guess you could say. Boots, when you compare these things, I've always hated how they have the menu shit. Anyway, there's the those, look at that. Like, this just changes, you know, your pant legs and your boots. Pant legs and boots change again, but you know, you can tell the difference in it. It's like blam in your face. Chest pieces. I mean, look at that huge freaking blade sticking out the back shoulder. Tattered cloth stuffed in. Giant protrusion in the chest with the Dead Orbit slapped on it. Ammo pouch on the shoulder, you know. And you got the wolf heads and the Taken one, the weird parrot mount, I guess you could say. Like here with my helmet Inmost Light. The helmet has the light protruding from the top of the helmet through the cracks. It's sleek, nice looking. Then this one has a big sweeping boxed back in. Then you have to round it out. Then your Halloween masks. There's the Crota one. Varix. Oryx. Atheon. And then my favorite one that they should have brought back into D2 with the Halloween event, which I was very disappointed in them for not doing. And then, you know, Memory of Yalder. This is what made the Titan in D1 so overpowered. You know, if I really wanted to be a douchebag, I would run my Striker Titan. And this is how I have my Striker Titan set up. I've got my Pulse Grenade, I've got Lift, Increased Control, Fist of Havoc, Aftermath, Overload, Stormfist, Titan Codex 1, Transfusion, Titan Codex 4, I believe. Shoulder Charge. But with Helm of Inmost Light, it gives you Death from Above and Headstrong, which normally, without that helmet, you could not have that, because you'd have to have one or the other. Now there's Aftermath. If I go to click on it, oh, it gets rid of Aftermath. But it gives you both, you know. Now with Shoulder Charge, this thing became increasingly brutal. Not much, knee. What's up? The way Memory of Yolder worked is you didn't have a cooldown for your sprint. So for us shoulder charging titans who were douchebags, sorry to say I was one of them in PvP, especially Rumble, you have to run and get a slipstream behind you technically to do the shoulder charge. And it was a one-hit kill. Okay, after you would do the shoulder charge, you would be slowed for a minute to like a walking speed before you could start sprinting again. With Memory of Yolder, I'm running, get my slipstream, shoulder charge, immediately back into a run. There's no slowdown for the sprint cooldown. What else was there? Oh yeah, when it came to infusing. When you infused in D1, you had your legendary marks, which are like your legendary shards in D2, and you had to have motes of light. Now, motes of light were nice because you could turn them into like people in the tower to get packages, especially like factions and crap. Or you could use them for infusion, or if you had weapons that weren't leveled up, you know, masterwork like these are, to where they have the white box instead of the gold, you could use a mote of light, burn it. Give me a second, I'll give you an example. Have I got this maxed out? No, I don't. Okay. Sniper rifle and this. And we'll switch to some gear that isn't maxed. Okay. Well, wait. Okay. Oh, wait, ghost. Okay, so all these things have white boxes. Okay, I got a mote of light. I'm going to go to it. Can be consumed to apply experience to your equipped gear. And look at that. Because of burning those motes of light, I now have unlocked this. The sniper rifle. Got all these unlocked. Which was a nice touch that I liked. So, like with D2, you have this masterwork thing where you need masterwork cores. D2 annoys me with that. I understand that it's similar to Destiny 1, but in my opinion, the way that they executed it in D2 was piss poor. It could have been done way better. Well, sorry about your luck, Toxic Seaman. To be honest, don't care. Where was I going with that? 3, 6, okay. But, in my personal opinion, D2 did a shit job on doing that. When it comes to the infusion, D2 should have been a little more like D1. Like if I wanted to upgrade my Doctrine, I would have to have a weapon that I could infuse into it, and I would have to have my weapon parts, my Glimmer, my Mode of Light, and my Legendary Marks. Now if I wanted to infuse like one of my exotics, I would need an exotic shard, which to get exotic shards, you would break down exotic weapons. Toxic, do you want booted? Because I will boot your ass without question and without hesitation, so knock your shit off. Anyway, D1 has your masterwork cores, which are harder to get a hold of and absolutely fucking annoying to do. I think they should system they had with this, where, you know, if I want to upgrade my weapons, if it's not an exotic, I just pay my weapon parts, my Glimmer, and my Legendary Marks, and occasionally Motes of Light or specific materials needed to infuse. Okay, Toxic, your ass is banned from my channel. Okay, Toxic, your ass is banned from my channel. Anyway. With the, sorry about that, y'all. With the ships, they were each different in their own right. Sparrows were the same way. Okay. You have your triumphs and crap like you do in D2. I will admit that D2's interface for this is a little bit better. The one thing that D2 does not have that D1 does that I like is your reputations over here, so you can see what your reputation and your reputation level with them is. And then let's go real quick to first things first. Now the other thing that I'm going to show you that I like about D1 versus D2 is the interface system. I like that, you know, you don't have to hold L2 to bring up a little sub menu on the side. It's very user friendly. You know, there's your Vanguard strikes, your Crucible, your planetary missions. Down here you can go, and this is what I like in D1 versus D2. If I want to play a game, I can see what my weekly and daily things are. I can see what my rewards for participating in them are, what the types are. Rise of Iron weekly story playlist. You know, you got your rewards, which is Treasure of Ages and Legendary Marks. Siva Crisis Heroic, Treasure of Ages, Legendary Marks. Nightfall, skeleton key, unknown rewards, and it tells you what the burns are. Just hovering over it. You ain't got to go into the damn thing, load it up, then bring up a little menu with your ghost to see what it is. You can just look at it and see. Now, when it comes to raids, the raids I liked better than D1. I enjoyed doing Taken King. I enjoyed doing Prison of Elders. I enjoyed doing Crota, Atheon. I never got to do the Siva raid, unfortunately, because everybody kind of dipped out of D1 and started getting into the other Call of Duty games that I was playing with. So, but I liked how the raids were on here. They were fun, they were engaging, they were entertaining. It was always enjoyable to go through the raid with your friends and try and find new ways to go through, quicker ways to go through, and finding hidden treasures or hidden Easter eggs and shit like that. And the rewards you got at the end, how random they were. You could go through a raid 6 times before you could get, like with my prime example, I was on Vault of Glass. It was the very first time I've been taken through Vault of Glass. One of my friends and relatives had been going through it multiple times and never got the gun to drop. My first time going through the raid, I got the weapon to drop, and I also got, I believe it was Gjallarhorn to drop. And they were all upset with me because they'd been through the raid 3 or 4 times and hadn't got it to drop. Their first time taking me through, I got it to drop. And I also got a auto rifle to drop with a really good roll on it. Now, for the PvP aspect, let's go ahead and go to Crucible and go to Rumble. One of my favorite guns in D1, and a lot of my friends give me flack over this, there's Rumble, is the Havoc Pigeon. Now, the Havoc Pigeon I have does not have the God Roll. My buddy actually has one that has the God Roll, and I'm extremely jealous. But what I used to do is I'd run Bad Juju, Havoc Pigeon, and then this ugly POS right here, because I never ever used heavy unless I had to. And I would run with the Havoc Pigeon as my primary and the Bad Juju as a secondary. And I'll show you why if I can find a match, because it may take a while to find a match. Hopefully it doesn't, because I'd like to make this as quick as possible. You're fine, Bubby. Actually, we'll just go to a playlist that's got 4 or more people in it. This usually has a crap ton of people in it. Whenever I've gotten on here, this is usually the only way I can find a game. Oh, did you spit your binky out? Is that what your malfunction is, huh? What'd you do with it? There it is. Oh, you're fine. He's flipping out. I gotta stir my chili. It's a 9 out of 12.
You might want to give him some medicine because he's not on that.
Mm. Alright, let's see. There we go. I wonder how horrible I'm going to do because I haven't played this in forever. And to me, D1 was a faster paced game than D2 is. D2 feels slow and clunky in comparison. It's like people who played Halo 1, 2, and 3 and then played Halo Reach, Halo 4, Halo 5. They understand where I'm coming from on how it feels quicker in D1 than it does in D2. D2 feels slowed down, dumbed down, and clunky.
Clumsy.
Turning feels stiff and slow. Whereas on here, when I would go to turn a corner, it would feel more quick and fluid. Hi, Bubby Phillips. Like I was saying, these are all my personal opinions on the game, so...
Once more onto the breach. Oh yes, the battle lines have been drawn.
You can definitely tell I'm rusty.
You're in the lead.
Oh, damn it. Yeah, I'm rusty. Oh.
Heavy ammo on the way. Heavy ammo available. Only 5 minutes left. Strength in numbers, Guardian. Excellent.
Stay back there. What, Mom?
Just wants to sit here and watch.
Or you can try and set him down. Oh, you can... Hi, Justin.
Heavy ammo inbound.
I use it.
Come to
Heavy
Papa.
ammo available.
Hello, yeah. Get off my back. I definitely need to get back in the hang of this.
Heavy ammo on the way. Heavy ammo available.
Do you don't want to play this game with me? Hi, baby. Shield's gonna go away soon, buddy. Love you, baby.
1 minute. Heavy ammo inbound. Heavy ammo available.
Oh, golden gun.
30 seconds left. You've got this.
This is another thing I liked about D1. If you picked up heavy and your team was there, your entire team could get it, not just one person. Say you got to deal with blueberries screwing you out of your heavy ammo.
10 seconds. Get it done. Another battle won. On to the next fight.
Anyway, that's one Crucible match. I can definitely tell I'm rusty. Like, really rusty. Hi, puppy. Alright, leave matchmaking. Let's go to the tower. Now, something D2 kind of did a little bit better than D1 that I like, but they still did a job on it. In D2, you can go to your menu and there's a tab where you have your moments of triumph, which in this is your record books, but your moments of triumph in D2. The tab next to it is where you can get to your collections, and you can pick up weapons out of there that you've gotten. You know, I like the fact that D2 has done that. I like the fact that I can go to my menu, I can pull out any exotic that I've gotten a hold of, any shader, any ship, any sparrow. I like that, because you don't have to keep going back to the tower to do it like you do in D1. I also like the fact that they added in legendaries to where you can get any legendaries that you liked back. I like that. What I don't like about it is it's a little how do I describe this? Overbearing for people who are new to the game. And then, of course, you got your vault, which gives you 3 different spots you can go. I still have a sparkle light. I might be playing on this and starting a new character at some point. Another thing I liked that D1 had that D2 does not is your weapon telemetries. You had a primary, special, and heavy ammo telemetries, or not ammo, telemetries, where you could increase your weapons and crap, blah blah blah, to unlock the slots for them. Now, the reason I like the fact that D1 has these type of things is because in D2 they're automatically unlocked. Okay, the harm that does to D2, in my opinion, is it takes away the whole point of exploring and grinding and get it. I know some people were annoyed by it and hated grinding for it and hated it, just farming for the materials. They hated it. Don't get me wrong. I was one of the people that when D1 was out and this was going on and you had to do all this crap, I bitched about it. I ain't gonna lie. I thought it was the stupidest shit in the fucking world. But on that same token, now that I've played D2 and they're automatically unlocked, I'm like, well, damn, that took away all the hours of gameplay that me and my buddies did together and my clan, just running around, getting materials, goofing off, having fun, exploring areas that we normally wouldn't explore because we'd just try to blow through it in the missions. It took away a lot of that factor. And I was like, well, crap, there goes hours of gameplay just going and collecting materials, collecting, collectibles like, the ghost shards, the calcified fragments, all of that. It took away all of it because they were automatically unlocked. And I was like, well, crap, that kind of takes away from the playability of the game, in my opinion. Because you're not sitting there with your friends grinding out these things, the public events, the story missions, just going into, the free roam so you can go looking for materials. And that kind of ruins D2, in my opinion, a little bit because they took away that factor. And, like I said, in D1 I bitched about it all the time, but now that it's gone, I'm like, well, damn. Maybe it wasn't that bad off after all. Anyway, sorry. The other thing that I don't like, and I've never liked it in D1 or D2, is this crap. Eververse, in my opinion, is the most useless piece of crap there is. Now, in D2, they've done a little bit better because you could at least get some kind of reward once a week, I think, by doing a bounty for this stupid woman. But otherwise, I think Eververse is crap. I think the silver system is just crap. But I like the fact that you can just do bounties and get crap from her in D2 now. Um, this is kind of what I like in D1 that I think that they should bring into D2, and that is, I mean, they've incorporated some of this into D2 already. Like if you've unlocked emotes, I think you can get them from your collections thing. Same with the masks, but I would like the sparrow trails to come back, where you can get different color sparrow trails. I would like the some of the masks from Halloween from D1 to come back. I would like SRL to come back to D1 because a lot of people didn't like it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I would like the horns to come back. They were funny. They were quirky. It was something for a change of pace. I would like the shaders to be fixed again. And I also like the weapon ornaments, which they are doing in D2 as well. I actually think they are a little bit better. It's like a 50-50 for me on D2 with the weapon ornaments. I think they could do a little bit better on how they change the overall cosmetic appearance of the weapon. I would like them to bring back the differences in the sparrows, like, you know, the ones that change colors, like the Bitstorm, the Prismatica, some that have fire and electric to them, like these do, you know. I would like to see more of a variety of sparrows in D2 than what we have. Overall looks is, they've changed some of them to look nice, but they haven't done anything really special like this. I would also like the trick sparrows to come back. I've only seen one or two, and I used to love those things. I'm glad that they brought the bounties back. There's just some, you know, things they could do to make the game a more enjoyable where is it? David Levante. But I rambled on enough about D1. Those are my thoughts and opinions on D1 as of right now. There may be some things that I add or change or whatever later on. Sorry for rambling and ranting, but I'm also trying to think of these things on the fly and discuss them, and I'm also dealing with a kid who's sitting next to me and who's usually fussy at this time, and fighting a cold as well. So forgive me for some of the pauses in thought or the ramblings or trying to find the words to put into effect what I'm trying to convey on my thoughts and opinions. Yes, this is something else I would like to, real quick, see return. The Arms Day orders and the ammo synths. I would like to see these things return. I don't know how many times I've been in a PvE event where there's been certain guns, or in the middle of a raid where there's certain things happening where I've run out of ammo and I'm like, oh shit. With these things, you ain't got to worry about that. You could be in the middle of a PvE and just be like, ammo. And they have a cooldown time, just like, you know, your Glimmer collection that you can get, and, you know, the telemetries and all that crap that D2 has. The telemetries are not like these telemetries. Do not get that confused. But I would like to see the ammo synths make a return for raids and PvE situations. Anyway, that's all I got to say about D1 for now. Now to go to D2. If you want to hear my thoughts and opinions on that, you're going to have to wait until I start the D2 stream, which will be shortly after I end this one. So, thank you for listening to my rants, my opinions, my thoughts, and watching me do very crappily at a PvP match. But anyway, have a nice one, and like I said, if you want to see, I'm getting ready to start another one for D2. So, adios.